Welcome back to Pub Brain Podcast, and it is report card season. So now we get to move on to the playoff teams. So we're going to do lowest playoff team first, then the highest playoff team, then your runners up, and ultimately finishing with the 2026 World Cup champion, Le Victoire de Montréal. So the lowest playoff team was, can you believe it, the Boston Fleet. Can you believe that? Can't you believe that? Oh my, Boston. What a year Boston had. I mean, literally, they cleaned out the awards, guys, back on G16. The only 2 awards did not go Boston's way. The Hockey for All award, that went to Rebecca Charge. And Forward of the Year, that, of course, went to Kelly Panic from your Minnesota Frost. But the rest of the awards, Boston cleaned them out. And rightly so. Across their 30 games, the Fleet had a record of 16, 5, 4, and 5. 16 regulation wins, 5 OT wins, 4 OT losses, 5 regulation losses. Oh, yeah. So hold on. 9 combined losses in total. Yep. Yeah. 62 points, scored 74 goals, and only conceded 45. That is a whopping goal differential of plus 29. Oh, right. Where do we start? Where do we start? Apart from once again apologising. Oh, not again! I don't think we can do it enough to Kris Sparre and his team. I mean, you know, because let's face it, going into the start of the season, nobody had Boston literally where they were. Like, no one had Boston literally tearing the league apart. I mean, the fact they started the season with a 5-game win streak, first time that's happened to PWHL. I mean, they were pretty much sitting pretty going into the Olympic break. The question was, who was going to stop Boston? Was this going to be the year Tessa finally got it right? And yeah, and the survey says no. She'll get it right one day, just not today. No. Because honestly, it was just insane what they did. And you have to give it to Kris Sparre. I mean, the fact that he's now gone and been poached by Project Expansion. Was that? Wow. Yeah, and I really am worried for Francois Maffard, their new head coach, because he's got a lot to live up to. Oh, yeah, he's got a lot to live up to next year. You know, there's literally going to be a target put on his back from day one. So I do wish him all the very, very best, because he's going to come into a team that's going to be expected to make the playoffs again and maybe go that one step further and actually win the World Cup. Because we know Boston's capable of doing it. They've got the tools there. Just got to make everything align together. But yeah, I mean, Aerin Frankel, though, away from Kris Sparre, Aerin Frankel was a huge reason why the Fleet were where they were. I mean, goaltender of the year, which I called, I called it. Instead it. I've been saying it since episode 3 on the regular season. She's going to be goaltender of the year. I called it. Okay. Also, MVP. You know, she just had an amazing season. Literally setting new records left, right, and centre. Just incredible. Yeah. And the fact that she's literally managed to improve on her shutouts as well is just incredible. She had that streak, back in towards end of March, April, where she had, 3 in a row that she had a shutout. And I did say, now, where's you calling goal to the year, George? I did say, in the route to Blanc Cortina, I did say, if she plays like she's playing right now for Boston with TSA, we have got the gold. We have got the gold. And she absolutely, she only gave up 2 goals all tournament. Yep. First game of the tournament and last game of the tournament. So, she was a huge reason why the Fleet, literally out of the world. But also you have to get to Megan Keller as well. Yeah. it was never going to be easy for Boston to replace Harry Knight as their captain. No, it was never going to be easy. And then Megan Kelly comes in, and she proved why she Yep, she proved it. I mean, she had an incredible season. Absolutely had to be defender of the year. You know, and I just want to see if she can keep that up next year. Yeah, I think it's just incredible what the progress she's done. It's just been incredible. So the fact that she's transitioned easily to captain role is brilliant, because not many players would have found that to be not many players would have found it so easy to transition into the captaincy as she did. But I think did brilliant there, absolutely brilliant. So yeah. But also, what really impressed me was, of course, we've got to say it, Haley Wynn and Abby Newark. I'm so thrilled that Boston managed to keep hold of both of them during expansion. We knew Haley Wynn was definitely going to get protected. Newark was literally touch or go. So, yeah, it was just incredible. Literally, last year's draft, I saw those two as picks that could potentially in the future be faces of the franchise. I felt that you give them time to develop their craft, they will, in a few years' time, they will literally be the face of the season. I was not expecting both of them to literally on day one light the lamp and just go insane. You know, I mean, I still can't believe Aerin was a late round pick. She should have been first round. She should have been in the first round. It still baffles me that she was taken so late in the draft. It was like, was she even going to get picked? It's like, come on. Yeah, but you got Winner, two players that look like on paper they could be face of the franchise of the future, and yet in year one of their careers, they come in and they literally have start seasons. Haywin, was it kind of like a Sarah Finney last year? Was she kind of seen as the lock-in for rookie year throughout the season, or was it? It's interesting because I felt with rookie year this year there were a lot of candidates, and you two have named them already. You with Murphy, and then you George with Gilday. There's also Brian Carson Looker from York could be in the mix as well. Well, dare I say also Kendall Cooper, who was with the Frost. There was a lot, but I think as the season was getting winding down to the business end, it kind of felt like Wing had literally two hands firmly on that gong, and he just needs to cement it. Just and that before we declare it. So it's been impressive. I just hope that she can continue to perform well next season, because so far rookie years they haven't really managed to build on their success from their first year. So that'd be interesting. But I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be fine. Especially with Lydia Moore now gone, you've got to find somebody who can really make that step up. So I think she'll be fine. I think she'll do fine. Maybe try and go for the end of the year herself next year, because she also got nominated for that as well alongside. But yeah, honestly, it's just been incredible. But also, you know how on the last episode we talked about Tio's lack of her success with Boston, it was the complete opposite. Yep. The Fleet, whether they were in Songler Center or Guys Arena this year, they were absolutely outstanding on home ice. I think their first home loss of the season actually was on the takeaway tour. Yeah, it was Detroit. Nap stunning comeback for Vancouver. Just insane. And I just kind of thought, good luck to the team that has to face them in playoffs. Because, you know, Boston has done so well on home ice. He'd be lucky to get split. Yeah, he really would. And yet Ottawa did do that because Boston did win game 1, and then Ottawa won game 2. So Ottawa got the split, and then the Charge turned it up another gear when we got to CTC. Game 3. They will look back at the Fleet will look back at game 3 for, oh my god, what were we doing? Who was supporting Frankel? You gotta look back on that one, Fleet crew. You gotta look back on that one in despair. In despair, to say, sorry. In despair. You gotta look back on that one in despair, because that would have changed everything. Yeah. No, it was just incredible. I mean, even we struggled against Boston on home on their barn this year, and we got to visit both of them. Yeah, because remind us, it was a Gannis. It was a Gannis in December, and then we went to Songler Center in April. So we have had. I know your mind was literally scratching trying to think about that. we did the episode about Boston moving Barnes, but no, we have already had a trip to a gas arena for Frost, so we've not got to take up the box. People did it. Been there, got the ball t-shirt. Yeah. So that's also going to be what we're going to keep up next year. Can you replicate that home match you had this year and take it with you into next season? Now that you know that you're going to be in a gas arena full time. Now that we know the Fleet are going to be a gas arena full time, the question is, can they keep this home success going into future seasons in a Gallus? That's going to be the big question. Also, the big question is, how is Francois Meffo going to cope being behind the Fleet bench next year with so much expectations literally on his shoulders? Because the Fleet, I know the Big 12 have a target on their backs as the new World Cup champions, and we can tell you what that feels like. But I think the Fleet are also going to have a target on their back, because everyone's going to look at the Fleet next season and think, this team should be in the playoffs. This team should at the very least be a playoff contender next year. With Kris Sparre gone, I do worry, will Boston take like 2 steps back and all that, because they had the biggest year-on-year turnaround that we've seen in this league's very short history. It was incredible. You know, to be knocked out of the playoffs, picture and fail to qualify on a tiebreaker last year, to literally leading the league for pretty much 99% of the season. I mean, that league title should have been theirs. Yeah, that league title should have been theirs. Because the first half, nobody got a scratch on them. Nobody could really put a big scratch on Boston for the first half. And yet, what I don't think the Fleet accounted for in the second half was the Big 12 literally on the rise and being that team I thought they were going to be at the start of the season. Yeah, they were kind of like slow and steady. And of course, those 2 wins the Big 12 got over the Fleet, could you argue that's what did it? That's what sealed the deal? What, the Big 12 game back-to-back league titles? Yeah. Because obviously they were tied on points, but Montreal then won the second tiebreaker, which broke in their favour. Yep. So it was literally... Yeah, there was nothing going wrong. But yeah, Boston really probably should have led the league. But the question is, would they have picked us, though? That's the question. If Boston had won the league like we all thought they were going to do this season, if they had done that, would they have picked us over Aura? Yeah. Because we knew Montreal were going to do it. We knew Montreal was going to pick us. Period. We knew that. Us 3, period. We knew Montreal was going to choose us. But the question is, would Boston have dared? Knowing that in 2024 we did beat them in the finals, do you know what a team like Minnesota is capable of doing? Do you really want to go up against that? But of course the only other choice would have been Aura, a team who literally in the regular season had their number. Which was so crazy how, Aura literally, when they went up against Boston, they did so well. So I felt with Montreal, they literally played the game, they played the system beautifully, because they picked us, they chose to go up against the best of the best, but at the same time, they gave Boston, who was going to be their biggest competitor if it was Boston Montreal in the finals, they gave Boston a team that literally would cause them problems, and it did. So you have to give Montreal praise for that. Like, we'll do it again when we get to their report card later on. But who knows? Probably still would have gone to 5 if Boston had picked us, but maybe a different outcome. Who knows? Yeah, but honestly, it kind of feels like for Boston, their season kind of shortcomings, because really, when you have a season like that, it really should be couple bus, yeah. And yet, this season, it promised so much. And yet, at the end of the day, they just could not find a way to get into the finals. They could have found a way to get one over Aura. And yeah, because I just felt... I felt Boston this was their best chance to win the World Cup. even though we did meet them in the first ever finals, back in 2024, I felt this was Boston's best opportunity to win the World Cup. Yeah, because obviously, going back to 24 when they did make the finals, in the regular season, they didn't really play as well as they could have, and that was a short season. Yeah, that was only 24 games, and yet they managed on the last few days to get in. And they didn't play as good last year either. They struggled, and so I think you're right. This season was probably Boston's best in terms of the regular season, and absolutely, you look at that and think this was Boston's best chance to win the World Cup. But unfortunately, they just couldn't find a way to get over Ottawa. And what was interesting about Game 4 was how compared that was. Yep. Because Ottawa got lead, then Boston got the lead, then Ottawa ties up, we go to OT. I think it's crazy how in that series, the only time it did not go to OT was in the playoffs. Until that last one. Because Game 1 didn't, Game 2 didn't, Game 3, well, Game 3 did, but didn't. And then you get to Game 4, and that books the trend. It goes to OT, and you think, right, we know what's going to happen here, don't we? Because Ottawa's done better against Boston in OT, and then Boston has. But that was just, yeah. So, is there any shortcomings for the fleet that we could pick out from? Because I feel like we talked about at least before. I think penalty kill. Okay, go for them, boy. Take the floor. Boston, and it's also a good thing and a bad thing. Boston didn't draw that many penalties this season. That's a good thing, because you want to have a disciplined team. But at the same time, I said this back when we did the first half reports. Yes. You did. No, you did. Yeah. Because they're not drawing many penalties, they are not getting as many opportunities to practice their penalty kill that other teams have. And when it comes to the playoffs, special teams could play a huge factor in you winning or losing the series. So Boston didn't have that many opportunities to practice their penalty kill, and I felt that kind of let them down a bit, because they didn't really know what to do when a team went on the power play. No, and they got the penalty kill. They just didn't know how to handle it. I mean, it's good to have a disciplined team, but you kind of need to also be able to practice what happens when you have to be shorthanded. You've got a penalty kill. Yeah, because obviously jailbreak opportunity right there. Yeah. They didn't make most of it. No, they didn't know how to handle it. No. Yeah. But to say, what an incredible run. I mean, yes, it fell short, and yes, you probably, as you two gentlemen pointed out, it should have been couple bust for Boston. But you can still go away from that and feel like, wow, didn't we do well? And you've just won a Brucey bonus! Wow! Yeah, you can look on that this season you've had and think, okay, yes, you may have not won the World Cup, but there's still so much that you could be proud of. Yeah, there's so much. Like, that goal differential, remind me again what it's done? Plus, hold on. Just gonna bring it back up. So Boston plus 29, a plus 29 goal differential. That's well up to where you were last year. Yeah, so you could be just, and also Aerin Frankel literally just record after record after record broken. Megan Keller coming in as your new captain. You've got Hayward, Abby Newark, your future faces of the franchise. There's so much good things that Boston can take away from this year. So even though technically this was a couple bust team, at the end of the day, there's so much that you can look back on and think, oh yeah, we did really well there, and you do really hope they continue that in the future. Yeah, because it's going to be interesting next season. I kind of feel those first 5 to 6 weeks of next season is going to be very interesting for Boston to give us a sort of a gauge of where they are. Are they still going to be that playoff contender we saw last year, or are they going to basically regress and take 2 steps backwards? I really hope they don't. Because it's so easy when you get a new coach, you've just been on a high, it's so easy to then like take massive steps back. And we've seen the air chart. We've seen it in the air chart. It's so easily done. But for this team, I feel like they're so close to getting to where they want to be, like how Montreal was. You know, I mean, you can't really compare it to Montreal, but you kind of know what I mean. You know, they've got the tools they need to win a World Cup. It's just when it comes to that moment, it's just not what reason. It's just not gelling. It's what reason. It's just not gelling. Yeah, they got so close. Yeah, they've gotten so close. You know, so I just really hope. I mean, obviously we had a net man out of Frankel. It's very likely she's going to be back in the past again. Yeah, I mean, she was brilliant. She's been brilliant every season she's been in, actually. You know, so so I feel like she's a star of this league, and we're going to see more amazing things from her to come in the future. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she's going to do going forward from that. Yeah, I mean, what an incredible year for Boston. There's so much praise that we can say for this team, especially with that home ice performance that I mentioned. That was just like, I just found it so insane when Boston got their first home loss season. I was like, wow. And yet it wasn't technically a true home loss, but it's like, oh wow, it still counts. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. It's like just insane. Can you even remember right, let's test him. Can you remember when Boston's first true home loss was the season? Or a rough guess. I think I can you can give me a rough guess, do that. I think it might have been when we were still in Minneapolis. I think it was St. Patrick's Day. Oh! Well, they lost to Tio. Yeesh! Yeesh! Of all the teams it could be. Yeesh! Oh, Dilla! Oh, Dilla! Yeesh! Wow, oh, Dilla! But, yeah. Woo! Yeah. So, Fleet Crew, I know you're probably thinking, oh, it was a bit of a disappointing season, you know, because we could have and probably should have been in the World Cup finals. And it probably should have been us that got to be our success. You're probably thinking it should have been you guys that was our successor, not Montreal. You know, but you can take away for the season so many positive things, and I think you've got a really bright future ahead. And who knows, maybe you'll be Montreal's successor next year. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? This league, you never know what is going to come, and that's what makes it so exciting to be a part of. So I think for Boston, please don't dwell on that too much because you had so many positive. You cleaned out the awards, guys. You cleaned out the awards. Okay? You cleaned out the awards, so just leave it at that. They basically did what Tio did in the inaugural season. Remember the inaugural season when Tio, you know, who literally also was in the same season when they probably were a couple of bust. They then wanted to clear out the awards. It's like, oh my bloody god. Yeah, I think we won Rookie of the Year, and I think, did all the others go to Tio? Might have done. Oh god. Yeah, it's like that, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway. No, Boston had such an incredible season. So much full of highlights, so much full of praise, and hopefully they can build on this season and just take it like one step further. Because you guys are so close. You are so close now to win the World Cup. You're almost there. Just find ways to get the pieces together when it comes to playoff time, and then do some. Yeah, because I think Boston's due World Cup very, very soon. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway. So much praise, guys. There's so much praise that we can say about your regular season this year. Okay, I know you didn't get the ultimate prize, but there is so much. Also, TD Garden. How can we forget TD Garden? You guys sold out TD Garden. So that was great. It was also great for us to have our Boston Bruins supporter resupply Scoopy come on and be with us. Even though he was not impressed with your snide comments, Pluto. Oh, you did. And I basically had to say to him, yeah, he's like that all the time. Well, it was a boring game. What? I'm cybering. Don't. Blade's up here. Was he downstairs with Goof? Oh, he's up here? Right. Say that to Blade's face! Say that to Blade's face! Hi, Blade. Say to the boys and girls. Hi, boys and girls. Go on. Say that to Blade's face. I dare ya! I dare ya! Say to his face! It was not a boring game. Go on. Hi, Blade! Oh, there you are. Where's the boys and girls? Hi, boys and girls. So I keep forgetting if you're up here or what you don't go for it. Really not. Yeah. So that was good. So great to have him on with us. You can come on the podcast, and he has said he's going to watch some more Fleet games with us next year. So that'll be good. You love having the PWHL on T. Gotta do you, Blades? Blade says yes. Ignore that one. What? Ignore that one. It was a boring game. There was too much back and forth. It was that 1-0 score that you hate. Yes, but I didn't. But was I bored? No. I was not bored. I was loving it. I loved it. So, yeah. So, who knows? Maybe in a war of those next year, have Blades? Maybe. Because Montreal Toronto made a bit of a tradition to have a one-off neutral site game at their Charles Barnes. Maybe we can make that with you. We'd have to give it a name, though. What can we name it? Rock the Garden? I don't know. We'll go watch that on Collie Blades. Anyway, that is going to do it for this report card for Boston. Until next time, take care. And don't forget to pull the freeze.